Hello everybody, how you doing? We are here today, obviously, you may have noticed by the title. We're talking about item FL and what my subscriber, Adrian Gonzalez, brought up the other night and we took a look at, and we clearly see here that item FL, the bullet, you can see right there that they're logging that in November, on November 21st, and that is a mighty interesting feat, because if it's not found until March of 06, this bullet is magical indeed, that it can get logged into evidence 4 months, 5 months before it's found. That's amazing. That's quite frankly amazing indeed, So yeah, this was getting talked about on Twitter and stuff, so that's why there was, Ali Apperson made a post on Twitter, and I saw it and I retweeted it, and then a bunch of people started liking it, and it was, and then there was some commenting happening with it. So this is an interesting thing for people. So I just thought I'd do a little bit of a video here, and I'm kind of combining here. I'm going to have a lot of stuff to put up on the screen to show, like you're seeing right now, the document that shows what day they were supposedly logging item FL and sending it to the crime lab, as it says here. And I have some other things, like some screenshots and pictures I'm going to show you at some point, like the picture you saw, like this one here, like when we were listening to Stacy. Oh, I closed it. Hold on just a second. So this one here, that's the item. That's it. That's item FL right there. And it's on that floor. You can see the like veins of concrete dust, and how they run. It's almost like rivers, the way they run, kind of, but that's because of the vibrations that were happening from the jackhammer. So the dust ended up like that, and you can see that this bullet is clearly sitting on top of that dust, not like half buried in it. The bullet looks shiny. It doesn't look like it was there when that dust was happening, because the bullet is still shiny. It has a sheen to it. So it's a very bizarre thing. But so anyways, combining the live experience with hopefully a little bit of the evidential experience that some of my subscribers were used to with my previous videos prior to October 19th, when I started going live a lot. And so I'm hoping to maybe try to be able to combine these two things and make for a better video. So that's part of the aim today. Hope it works out. Now back to the document. So as I said, this is an amazing thing that was pointed out by Adrian Gonzalez, subscriber of mine, the other night. And how do you explain this? Some people tried to say, oh well, maybe it's referring to the rifle itself. Well, that can't be, because if we go down a little bit here, we can see that the rifle is item DD. It's in a sealed box containing, it would be a sealed box containing a 22 LR Marlin Glenfield 60 rifle. So there's the rifle. So it's clearly a 22-inch, a .22-inch caliber bullet. It clearly says that that's what it is. Item FL. That's clearly the item that Zellner's been referring to in MAM, when they went to the garage and were shooting through the wood and seeing what was happening to the bullets and that sort of thing. So this is the other part of this is when I saw this on Twitter and stuff, I went ahead and just said it. It would explain why. It would be a big go a long way towards explaining why Tom Fassbender was browbeating Brendan into saying that things happened in the garage. Because any of you that may not know, Brendan actually first said, because they had told him that she was shot, he had said that she was shot out by the fire pit, not in the garage. But they were pushing to get things to happen in the garage, and they eventually, so they kept pushing him until he said that they shot her in the garage. And then that was what it seems to be what Tom Fassbender was looking for. So let me look at the comments a little bit here. Explains so much about the lack of dust. We've all questioned this for a long time. Absolutely. Shiny because it had already been tested and see if it was fired. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, it should have dust on it. The fact that it has no dust on it. I mean, and think about it, guys. Here, let me switch over to. If you think about it, that bullet, it's like a bowl shape or concave on the top of there. There should be dust collected up into that little bowl shape, right? Right? Let's see. The state's crime lab reports the correct date of receiving both FK and FL. This is just Wiegert's mistake. Yeah, but that's a big mistake to make. Let's see here. What day is this report supposedly written? So it is written in May. So yeah, it's just bizarre. I don't know. That's just bizarre. That's such the wrong date that it's just frankly amazing. What's up, Chad? Looked at the photo marked into evidence at the trial of item FL. The earliest date was 3/2/06. The date is found according to Wiegert. Yeah, well, I guess maybe he wrote the wrong date, but that's a really wrong date to write. I don't know how he would be going back into 2005 saying, I don't know. That's a hell of a typo he made. That's a whopper. I'll tell you what. Brendan clearly was guessing at what they. Yeah. Oh, Brendan was definitely guessing. He actually tells them at one point that that's exactly what he's doing, and they just ignore it and move on. Is the data received? If it is the date of receiving the gun, not the bullets. Okay, so he added the bullet slugs as being on 11/21 when it was only the rifle. I would have thought an elite investigator would remember something like that about an investigation, especially since it's the first one that he's worked ever in his life, and it's the biggest thing that he's ever worked on probably in his lifetime. But I don't know. See, November 21st, 2005 isn't even close to the alleged real date. It's not like they screwed up the year or just the month. They screwed up month. Yeah, I mean it's so but what Roll is saying here is that Mark Wiegert should not have added the slugs in here. The 2 slugs should not have been added in, but the date is correct for the Marlin rifle being sent to the crime lab. So, yeah. Like I said, it's a hell of a typo. It's really a hell of a typo to have said that bullets he just found were found in November or sent to the crime lab in November. It's just really strange, but okay, fine. It's a typo. No side view of bullet to show damage. Aliens used a time warp. Yeah, it could be. See the link posted above. Link. Where is there a link? Alright, I don't see a link, and I'm done looking for it. Yep, don't see a link. Done looking for it. Let's see here. With investigations, they can't afford to make typos in official documents. Please show the state's crime lab report. The 2 dates are there in the same document. I'm not disputing that the crime lab's documents may say that they say that. What I'm saying is that Mark Wiegert is making a ridiculous, mistake here if that's truly what it is. But like I said, okay, let me put it this way, Roll. This typo, right? This is only one small little issue with the magic bullet. Okay? It's not called the magic bullet for no reason. It's called the magic bullet because it does magical freaking things. Okay? Looking pretty spiffy. Thank you. Pasted the link again. Let me see. It doesn't really let you post links, so that's what's happening, bud. Your links are not showing up. Tell you what, Roll, type everything in but .com. Just type the rest of it, but not .com. And then I'll copy that and I'll paste it into my browser and put .com on it, and then we'll see where it goes. We'll see what you're wanting to show everybody so bad. Anyways, it's, you know what? It's not even in dispute. I'm not disputing that the lab may have had the correct date or whatever. To me, it's just strange that the lead investigator has the dates all wrong and makes such a stupid mistake. So, but even if, like, as I just stated moments ago, even if we move past this, if we move past this typo, there's other issues with the bullet that are, serious issues. So, this is not the only thing that I'm bringing up here, by the way. This is just where I'm starting. Actually, I'm not sure who owns that property right now. In front of their property, in between them and the road. Yes, just a rifle plus 22 bullets that day. 21st. You tested bullets. So those would be the test firing. I don't know why they would even do that yet at that point when they don't have anything to compare it to. But, yeah, it's weird. I swear, it seems like they knew something. I know Roll disagrees, but it seems like they knew something. And then it lists the evidence, including 2 bullets and the gun. In the evidence log, it shows two bullet fragments? So it creates so much confusion because they created these unnecessary test bullet fragments at this. It makes it all so convoluted and ridiculous. They made their investigation so deliberately, just hard to understand and follow. It's to me one of the hallmarks of their cover up. Fabricated lies. Let's see. Hello, Ellen. How you doing? Okay, cool. Roll. I'm saying I understand what you're saying. The crime lab may have the actual right dates, I'm sure, or whatever. To me, it's just strange that the wrong dates are getting entered. It's strange that if, as Marissa says, that it's getting logged into evidence that way. It's just there's a lot of like just real shady happening around the bullet in the sense of what's going on with this document and what's going on with this document and other things. So Brendan Dassey's DNA was not found anywhere in any part of this crime scene anywhere. They have 0 physical evidence against Brendan Dassey. Monkey looks great on the chair. Oh, thanks. 10yearold.com. Erekose bullet. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's the crime lab report saying it was sent in March. That's fine. As I said, I'm not disputing that. The crime lab may have it right. What I'm pointing out is that the lead investigator had it wrong. So, to me, that's significant. To you, Roll? Maybe not. I wonder how well they collected in the Avery trailer. BD's DNA should be in there. Oh, absolutely. Was there wax found on the bullet or not? There was a waxy something on it. Zellner's adamant about that. She's just not real sure, I think, yet at this point what exactly it is. Hello, Mary Norris. Okay, so look, that's okay. So moving on now from the typo, right? So we'll move into the issue of the bullet, right? Let's zoom in on it. That's the bullet, right? I mean, you can see clearly the dust that is, around it. Oh, you can see like all around this right here, and then it runs down and it's like underneath the bullet here, and it's like also here. So you got it all in this area, and then it gets a little fatter kind of out here, and so you can see it kind of all runs in like veins, right? And here's this bullet, shiny. You can see it's kind of shiny around here. Whoops. Don't want to move it. But it's shiny around, here where the outer rim is. It shouldn't be shiny. Concrete dust does not shine like that. That's not it. When concrete dust covers something, it completely loses any shine. It becomes dull, very dull looking, no matter how shiny the metal is. And so that's yet another issue with item FL. I'm just saying, okay, let's call it a typo then. Let's move on to the next issue, right? So it's up to people to decide for themselves if they think what is stated in that paperwork, if they think that's innocent, then that's up to them. If they don't think it's innocent, then that's up to them as well. So I'm just going to leave it at that point with what was in the document and move on to the other stuff with the bullet that I feel is absolutely undeniably fishy and wrong and shows that there's a problem. I'm absolutely sure that it was not a typo, and you're absolutely. But he was reading the crime lab report and a bit too quickly, so it was sloppy. Okay, whatever. That's a typo. You just described a typo, Roll. Anyways, was any other bullets like that found? I believe there was an item FK, which, yeah, so. Let's say a cop blew the dust off. Why is the testing limited to TH's DNA only? Makes no sense. Well, that's just the profile that came up. We also know that Sherry's own profile came up, right? So it just happens to be that Teresa's profile was the profile that came up, and I think we can surmise that had there been another profile there, it would have come up because we clearly saw Sherry Culhane's DNA come up in the control. Let's see. I am now reading two documents that both say November 21st at 2005 for FL and FK and DD. So So Wiegert is making mistakes twice, and they are typos if they are typos, or it's kind of maybe explaining, you know, kind of maybe what's going on with the way they pushed Brendan to say things happened in the garage. Like they asked Sherry Culhane to put Teresa in the garage or the trailer, you know. So that's what gets me about this case is they limited the results to only people they wanted. Absolutely, conveniently, Culhane ruined any future testing on FL. Yep. That date is March 16th. Where can someone go to read queso? Marissa is probably gonna, yeah, there you go, StephenAvery.org. There you go. Marissa just posted the link, and you can go there and you can see the investigation reports. I don't like Wiegert any more than you do, but this mistake is easily made in two places. Easily made twice. You have to understand what Marissa's saying. He made this mistake. He made it twice. Have any further fingerprints been identified from the RAV? So TH's DNA is on the bullet, but not in the garage exactly. There's the link to queso itself. Good job, thank you, Marissa. They tested rifle in 2005. Newhouse did how they did. How did he know to test which one or the type of bullet? Oh, I think they were just desperate to make whatever connections they could, and But that Marlin rifle is a very common rifle too. Almost everybody has one in that area. They were like cheap, and a lot of people bought them. The doc, March 16th, says the crime lab received the bullet on March 16th. Okay. Avery dies in his 8x6 concrete tomb. You're all wasting time. Oh, Scott UK. Wow, buddy, I haven't seen you in forever. I thought maybe you had dropped off the face of the planet or something. Wow. Hey, everybody, this is Scott. Well, my friend Paul Capaldi, he likes to call him Scott Yuck. Because my friend Paul Capaldi thinks he's very disrespectful and stuff like that. So hope you don't give my admins or my moderators too much work to do here, Scott. No bone fragments, but it's through and through, or it's a mistake, and they did have the bullet. Yeah, the mistake in the paperwork creates question. You can't deny that it creates question. Wiegert didn't write the second report. That is signed by Newhouse. So a second officer is saying the same thing. Wow. They're really, really paying attention to what they're doing here in this investigation. I gotta say, it's amazing. Their attention to detail is frankly staggering. That's why I have deleted 3 posts. Thank you, Sharon. Let's see. Get him, Marissa. Newhouse made no mistake. Newhouse didn't. Okay, Marissa. What page is Newhouse's report on? It's its own document? Okay. All right. Wisconsin State Crime Laboratory, Madison, received the following evidence on November 21st of 2005. Item DD. The Wisconsin Crime Laboratory in Madison received the following evidence on March 16th of 2006, and so he gets the bullet fragments correct. Okay, so roll is correct. Roll is correct. That here it's correct. That Newhouse actually says that the fragments came in on March 16th. You can see it right there. So, okay. Point is, our lead investigator makes a pretty silly mistake, in my opinion. Greg, I wasn't on last night, but things are deleted at our say-so. They are. Well, my moderators are trying to keep it clean for me according to the way that I really want the chat to run. What that means is I don't care if you believe Stephen Avery are innocent or guilty, but when you're in my chats, I would hope that you can be respectful. And generally speaking, honestly, if you can't argue your point of view without getting nasty and doing those sort of things, your point of view really isn't worth consideration anyway. So if your point of view is valid, you'll be able to argue it without insults or any of those sort of things. You'll be able to argue it with integrity. My question was simple and direct. You're saying if you don't like the question, it's deleted. I don't know what they deleted, Greg, so, here. You know what? But I can see it if I need to. If we do need to interrupt the video here so that I can see what's getting deleted now, if it's all that important, or maybe you just try to retype it. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyways, the point is that I just made it very clear what I expect. All right, you want me to read further? Hold on. The bullet in item FL was fired from the Marlin rifle in item DD. The bullet in item FK exhibits the same physical class characteristics as the rifle in item DD and could have been fired from that gun. There's nowhere else to go, Marissa. The second to last sentence. The bullet in item FK exhibits the same physical class characteristics as the rifle in item DD and could have been fired from that gun. Okay. The bullet in item FL was fired from the Marlin rifle in item DD. That doesn't say a date. Yeah, I don't know what we're looking for here. So all I can see in this report is he's saying that those items came in on March 16th. I don't see what you guys are. I'm not seeing it here. I don't see where it's showing. Okay, roll. Look, that's as far as it goes down right there. That's as far as it goes down. It's one page, and that's it. I can't go down any further on it. That's as far as it goes down. I tried typing in the tiny URL. It didn't work. I put tinyurl.com and whatever. I copied what you put and I put .com and it didn't work. Went to a search. So, point is, we've already wasted way too much time on this. All I was pointing out is the fact that our lead investigator doesn't even know when the evidence came in. And I think that's significant. I'm not debating that. Anyway, I'm not debating that they may have gotten the dates right at the crime lab or whatever, that Wiegert made a mistake. But my point is that the lead investigator in this case has made so many mistakes that, it's ridiculous. So I'm going to go back to moving on to what I was talking about, because this is obviously something that can be talked about, but it's not, it's like I said, it's for me significant that Wiegert is making that mistake, the lead investigator in the case, along with every other mistake that he made. So as we move on, we obviously know that this bullet is fishy because of the way it's found, the fact that it's not dusty itself, it's actually shiny. All these things prove that it was not in that garage when that crack was getting jackhammered. If it was in that garage when it was getting jackhammered, it would have dust on it. It would not be shiny. It would be very dull looking. And so that's yet another issue with the bullet there. Dang, Scott, you can't even make a comment without getting deleted, dude. Hold on, folks. Okay, my point is the crime lab is the one that got the items. Yeah. Flip. I got one phone call and miss everything. Just ban Scott. He's only here to troll. He definitely is only here to troll. Most likely. Sometimes he actually is able to mind his manners. Occasionally. Sometimes. But not a lot. 1st of March, Brendan's confession. 2nd of March, the bullet in the garage. 14th, tested by Sherry Colhane. 16th, results. That was quick. Yes, it certainly was. Magical bullets. Absolutely, it's magical. It's magical indeed. Sherry took possession of it on 3/28/06. Keep it civil. Scott UK, keep it civil. You will be welcome. Otherwise, move on, please. The crime lab didn't do the collection. Roll Wiegert did. That's the point. Newhouse received the items on the dock you show on these dates. Wiegert says the items were found on November 21st. Actually, Wiegert says they were sent to the crime lab on November 21st. So here, let's go back to that. Let's get the wording on it correct. So it should be noted that the Wisconsin State Crime Lab had received this evidence on 11/21/05. Hold on, trying to get it to go up here. Here we go. So right here. So it says right here, it should be noted that the Wisconsin Crime Lab had received this evidence on 11/21/05. So that's the way it's actually worded. So like I said, whether typo, whether whatever, it just shows more of the sloppy work done in this Avery investigation. And in my mind, to my mind, it's deliberately sloppy, I think, to hide the shenanigans that were going on. Is there a scientific test to determine how old the bullet is? Just curious. I don't think so. Otherwise, I would imagine Zellner would have gotten it. On the 23rd of May, 2017, Special Agent Jeff Wish delivered bullet to Dr. Palahniuk. Wasn't Wish involved elsewhere? He might have been. I think he just happens to be the evidence officer now. Let's see. Question. If I fart, can you guys smell it? Nope, don't think so. David, what's up? Why do you think you're blocked, David? Assume the bullet gets thrown out. How crucial is it for the case? I think it goes a long way, but like I've heard Jerry and them say before, you have to attack every single piece of evidence, really. I think I've heard Zellner say it. You can't leave any of it on the table, otherwise oftentimes the judges will use that as a reason to uphold the conviction. If even just one solitarily leg of the original theory is like still shakily standing, they'll reinforce it. So I mean, it'll help. It's certainly helpful to make the bullet look ridiculous and prove that it's ridiculous. And just as it is to prove that the blood in the RAV4 is ridiculous, just as it's important to prove that the prosecution's theory that she was killed in either the trailer or the garage, depending on which trial you're at, Brendan Dassey's or Stephen Avery's, yeah. I mean, it's just a mess. It's an absolute mess. It was just like Calumet says, they only used Manitowoc when they needed things, like the bullet, key, and blood. They look at bullets based on the types of the gun they are and their make and model. So if you have a Civil War era gun and a new bullet, they will know based on the manufacturer marks on the bullet. How is Barb handling this in knowing what she knows? Not sure. The bullet could lead to an evidentiary hearing. It doesn't need to be thrown out, really. Possibly, I guess. The bullet is just totally fishy and strange as hell. And yeah, definitely. Roll is right in that these documents don't prove anything, but that's the problem. It is evidence. It should prove everything and not be in the state of question. Exactly. That's kind of my point too, is that because of the sloppiness of the execution in this investigation, it's an absolute pig's ear. It's an absolute mess. I just emailed you the outline dates on the Newhouse report. Okay. As I said, I'm not debating the dates on the Newhouse report. I'm not debating it. I'm not challenging it. Marissa? Do you want them, Marissa? I can forward it to you or something if you want, Marissa, and you can look at them if you want. But I'm not trying to dispute that. And I'll tell you what, the point I am making is being ignored and skirted, except for by Marissa. Marissa gets it now. Marissa is the first one that was able to say, look, yeah, it's how screwed up this investigation is. It's how you see things like this constantly throughout this investigation that make it such a farce. So that's what's getting pointed out here. If nothing else, that's what's getting pointed out here. I'm not debating whether or not the other reports say that the bullet fragments came on 3/16. I'm not disputing it. I'm just saying Wiegert got it wrong, and that is why this investigation is a mess. One of the reasons why this investigation is a mess. So I hope I've cleared up exactly the way I feel about that document and why I think it's just another piece of the S show. Why does everyone believe Casey is telling everyone the truth right now? She is a poker player and probably is bluffing. Oh, I don't know. I don't think it's bluffing when she has the experts putting forth their scientific testing results and that sort of thing. There's certain things here where, yeah, maybe she's making a little bit of leaps of logic or that sort of things to tie her theory together. But there's a lot of things there that are just empirical facts from the testing, and create a great deal of doubt into Stephen Avery's conviction. Have you spoken with Mom, Pa Avery? How are they doing? I have not recently, but when I was in Manitowoc in June, I did get to kind of talk with Dolores. Not a whole bunch really, because there were so many other people there for the rally and stuff, and they were all giving her presents, and everybody was giving her presents and everything, and so. But got to talk to her a little bit. I actually got to hang out with her dogs, probably for about maybe 10 or 15 minutes, because one of her dogs kept coming over and like nudging my ankle and everything. So I eventually went over and started talking to her dogs and stuff like that. And one of them was an old guy. Felt bad for him. He was just lounging on the couch. But anyway. We were all sloppy at times. I'm done talking about that. I think it's ridiculous that SA's trial, his defense team weren't allowed to name other people. I agree. Even Dean Strang says it's not common for a judge to require three different prongs on Denny. Usually judges allow it if two can be met. They'll allow a suspect to be named during the trial, and so Dean was saying that it was strange for Willis to be doing that. Have they ever tried to find the original battery? That is the key to this case. Why is no one really talking about the two witnesses seeing Teresa at 3:45 leaving the profile? I have talked about that. I talked about that in the video when I did about Zellner's Twitter feed, and I pointed that out as one of the significant things in that. So. The dogs weren't too scary for you. You weren't paralyzed in fear. And Dolores has like these tiny little doggies. They're lap dogs. I have a cat only because I didn't want to see that poor little kitten die. I'm an animal lover, but ultimately I want to have a dog. I don't think Bear is still alive. I think he's probably passed on now by 13 years later. Thanks for being there. I'm ordering Avery merchandise for my daughter for Xmas. Oh, cool. Don't forget to order her a Control Question t-shirt, or maybe one for yourself. My shepherd is a lap dog too. Don't bring him near Steven. Chihuahuas. Mama Avery needs a Christmas this year. I hope the PayPal works better than Google did. PayPal does work better. You smell like kitty. You're so sweet. I love animals too. I have a Chihuahua Jack Russell mix. He thinks he's a shepherd lap dog. So there's one other thing I guess I'm going to talk about, and let's see, where is my OBS? So there was one other thing I was going to talk about, really, and it was something that Marissa posted last night on Facebook, and I just thought, it's a good thing to show, right? And so this comes down to the hood latch swabs, right? We're not even going to talk about the DNA amounts, which are a huge problem with the hood latch swab. We're not even going to talk about that. We're just gonna focus strictly on the appearance of the swabs. That's what we're gonna focus just on that, just on the issues with that, right? Okay. So what Marissa did, and she described it as going out in 7-degree weather, 7 degrees above zero weather, and swabbing the hood latch, where by all rights in 7-degree weather, any gunk underneath the hood should have been frozen as well. But went out with the Q-tip, swabbed the hood latch in the 7-degree weather, came back in and put up some pictures. Now, here's a little bit of the lead-in. So, here's the lead-in to it. Zellner's expert, when he examined the swab, said that the swab came to them, and when they opened it up and everything and examined it visually, that the swab was a yellowish color. In other words, a very faint yellow color. Very faint yellow color, right? Okay. So they do their testing, and once again, not going to talk about the amounts of DNA and how that's an issue, but focusing on what the color of it was. So many people, upon hearing that about it being slightly yellowish, thought, wait a second, why would something be slightly yellowish if it came from underneath a hood? Why wouldn't it be? It would be black from the carbon and stuff that gets under there, especially if it's an older model vehicle, right? So here is what the color looks like when you go and swab your hood. And I thought this was brilliant from Marissa. Show you here real quick. So you can see it's very black. Here, let me blow it up a little bit. So as you can see, this does not look yellowish, right? And this was, once again, in freezing 7-degree weather, where by all rights any gunk on the engine should have been frozen too. And this is what the Q-tip is looking like from this angle. And this is what it looks like from another angle. So you can see it doesn't come up slightly yellowish. and it doesn't look slightly yellowish. I know, she's a trooper, Marissa, going out in the 7-degree weather to get this. But yeah, slightly yellowish doesn't result from going and swabbing carbon from underneath your car's hood. These things do not match up. They don't make sense. And that's a problem. Because then you can talk about, after just the visual inspection is pretty much completely bogus, then you can move on to the amounts of DNA found were completely bogus, and it goes on and on. Yeah, no yellow. I don't see any yellow either. Yellow could be wax after Uyghur Q-tipped his ear. Yeah, that's true. Let's see, Marissa. Was the swab dry or wet? And the flat one is the dry swab. The flat one is the dry swab? Let me see here. I don't know which one she's saying is which, but apparently one of them was wet, one of them was dry. New to the channel, loving it. Just a quick question, a little off topic. What is your opinion of Chad Keller's book and the whole everybody's connected to everybody, even Jerry Buting? There's some things that Chad says that I actually see merit in and I actually talk about. For instance, the 900 prisoners that were looking to petition the Innocence Project and how Peg Lautenschlager went about blocking that. I do see the merit in that. But when Chad starts to go on into how Jerry Buting is part of the whole machine that did this and all that sort of stuff, that's where I'm not really on board with him so much. So I of course listen to him, but yeah. Explain how it could be yellow. Guilters will say that type of Q-tip isn't sterile. I don't care if it's sterile. We're talking about color and appearance. Whether it's sterile is absolutely irrelevant, to be perfectly honest. Let's see. Picture 1 was a moist swab. Picture 2 was a dry. Okay, so we're looking at the moist swab right now. Yellow from SA's crotch. Exactly. Gross. Exactly. I mean, the yellow from the sweat and, for lack of a better term, mungo juice between the, scrotum and the inner thigh. I could imagine that producing a slightly yellow color. That I could see. Wish Falcon was here so you can put this issue to rest. He goes on and on about the swab. True. Let's see. The pic you have up right now was the moist. Yes, it is. The puff one is dry. Okay. The other one was dry. I think yellow is from sweat, right? The amount of DNA is a huge red flag, isn't it? Absolutely it is. Because when they tried to recreate it, it all came back not enough DNA. And, basically wasn't enough DNA to explain, really. Basically, out of 15 trials, only 4 people even left measurable DNA. And when they did, it was like 0.06, 0.07, 0.09. These very, very tiny amounts. So trying to explain how in the world Stephen left, 1.9, almost 2 full nanograms is just bizarre. Sorry, folks. Just a real quick message I gotta send. Okay. Let's see here. Mango juice. The amount of DNA is huge and yeah, definitely. Yeah. Good job, Marissa. Is the latch swab the only swab they collected from the RAV4? No, they swabbed the back tailgate. I mean, they swabbed, obviously, the Stevens blood inside. They swabbed Teresa's blood in the cargo area. All those things would have gotten swabbed. I can't even think of any car fluids that are yellow. Thanks, Lori. I was wondering how mungo was spelled. See, just got. Hey, Ollie, how you doing? Oil can show up yellow. I thought about that too, but I mean, okay. So why is there oil on the latch? I don't know. That just creates more questions for me than it answers. And was there a candygram for Mongo? Clean oil, that is. I know if it was kind of. I know what you mean, but it's okay. So if we go with that, then we still have to explain how Stephen leaves 1.9 nanograms of DNA. Right? That's what then has to happen. So if you're willing, if somebody's willing to co-sign on this, right? If somebody's willing to co-sign somehow on this and say, oh yeah, well, maybe Teresa's hood latch had some fresh, brand new oil on it, and it was there, and that's what caused the slight yellowing. Okay. In order for people to go along with that, okay, then how do we explain Stephen leaving 1.9 nanograms of DNA on the hood latch? So no matter what, the hood latch runs into problems. No matter which way it tries to juke and jive, it runs into problems. And that's all. That's basically the point I'm trying to say. So, hello, Easy E. Didn't she use up all that sample? I believe they cut it in half, and there's half of it left. Mr. Jamie Forley. Let's see here. They're saying there is 10 times more DNA than the exemplar. Exactly. For anyone questioning the planting of evidence, there are two words. David Kofeed. My dad is heavy-duty mechanic and a small engine mechanic. I have been greasing vehicles and changing their fluids my entire life. Most crappy old cars have engine products and dirt all over under the hood, including the latch. Absolutely, it's going to come out black, not yellow. I'm sorry. Even if I'll put it another way, even if there is some fresh oil somehow left on the hood latch to create a yellowing, that's not going to prevent the black soot of the carbon, the sooty carbon. That's not going to prevent that from getting on the hood latch, just because there's some fresh oil there. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a problem that the hood latch swab is not the right color. It's not that it's yellowish, slightly yellowish, and has no black on it. That's a problem. I'm sorry, but it is. It just is. Dad got diesel all over him one day. Made a trip to the door and put the clothes out in the cold. Then I washed in baking soda and borax. They didn't expect MAM, so they just had to convince a few fools. Oh, right, I see what you mean. Yeah. Imagine the amount of Mungo juice crats with... Oh, good. Okay, don't make me regret saying that. I got hood latch swabs on 4 cars this morning as well. All but one had very noticeable black marks on the swabs, even after I ran the faucet over them. Ah, interesting. That's from Allie Apperson. Hopefully she's uploading a video later with all that in it. If SA gets a new trial, the hood latch would not even be would not even be offered in evidence. Page 101, they collected 22 from... So maybe what I'll do is do a hood latch experiment of my own and upload it as a premiere tonight. And we'll talk about DNA tomorrow, basically, or something, possibly. Yeah. I understand, Sharon. 7 degrees Fahrenheit is almost 14 degrees Celsius for those not in the USA. Exactly, GG. I've said that all along. Show the pic of the swan from evidence, or the swab from evidence. Let me see if I can find it. Here, hold on. Oh, let me see if I can find it. Where is it at? Hold on, I'm having a little trouble finding it. Alright, so what I can do is go. Hold on, sorry. See, photos entered. Here, let me switch to it here. Might be in the unofficial photos. I might have to go back and check those. Steven Sink. I think that's what that is. Oh, well, thank you so much, Sharon. Ah, here we go. Shoot, which one's... I don't know which one of these is... I'd have to go through the investigation reports to figure out if it's K4, K3, K2, Q48, Q47, or Q46. I got him right here. It's just... Well, at least I have pictures of 6 swabs Well, 6 pictures of swabs. Some of them are a pair of swabs. Let's see. 2 appear to have what's obviously blood on them. Somebody wanted to see the picture of the actual hood latch swab. So I was actually on StephenAveryCase.org here, trying to, here, look, let me go down. Whoops, let me go down. All right, so these are the swabs. I have not had a drink yet. Problem is I don't know the designation of the hood latch swab in evidence right now. I can't think of it off the top of my head. So, but I can tell you right now, there's 2 swabs over here that look like they have something blackish on them, but I don't know if those. So I don't know which one of these are which here. So, all right. So moving on. I'll see if I can find those swabs, and I'll put those in. I'll put those in the next video. I'll put that in the hood latch video. It's an English breakfast, black tea and Chips Ahoy morning. None of the swabs are yellow. Yeah, none of the swabs look yellow there. But then again, maybe if you look closer, they might look slightly yellow because that's the way it was like described. Problem is they're all clean or white. At a distance they look that way, but you might notice it look a little yellow if you look at it closer, possibly. All right, so okay, so then we will track down the actual pictures of the hood latch swabs or swab at some point, and we'll figure it out. Dang, that's a shame, D. Peterson. With the swabs you just showed, the sterile swabs come in packs of 2 and are always wood handled. I saw a couple there that look like plastic or paper. Could very well be. Hey, have I ever told you about how, wonky and just not quite right this investigation is? Oh, yeah, let me tell you. That's funny, El Fallon. So, that's going to be about it. I wanted to talk about those few things. Obviously, the document that, Wiegert makes the mistake on. Interpret that however you like. The obvious problems with the bullet. The magic bullet. This magical bullet, man. It's so freaking magical. It's anyway, ridiculous. And I'll put together a premiere about the hood latch, swab, the amount of DNA. We'll just do I'll do a thorough premiere, just going through the issues with the hood latch and the swab. So I'll do that for a premiere, hopefully to be uploaded tonight, and then obviously I'll be going live again tomorrow. Something I want to make everybody aware of. I am going to be going live with, I'm going to be talking to Sean Atwood this week. I think maybe I might go our first talk. I think I might just have it be recorded and uploaded as a premiere, just so that when him and I talk, that there's no distraction of the live chat just for the first time, so that him and I can just chat and do the introduction, and so those that don't know Sean, or those fans of Sean that don't know me, can kind of get acclimated to the the interview and stuff. Before we maybe do a second one where I will probably do it live. So, but I will be talking to Sean Atwood on Thursday. I am planning it. I know, I'm planning it for it to be really early in the morning for me, so that it will be, even on the East Coast, it will only be 11 o'clock, and hopefully the ladies that are here in the United States will be able to fit in the live session before their Thanksgiving preparations really start to heat up. So that was kind of my goal. But Sean had limited opportunities, and I know because of the time offset with him in the UK, it would be better if I could go early in the morning, because then it would end up being right in his afternoon time, and so that's what I'm basically setting it up for tentatively at the moment, is for Thursday. So hopefully everybody will be excited about that. Because Sean Atwood, his book is great. If you guys haven't read it, if you guys, haven't read it yet or heard about it, you should go check it out. It's brilliant. So, let's see what everybody's saying here. When they put them on evidence, those were casing, I thought, Adrian. Those were shells, I think. I think it was both. I think I know what you guys are talking about, and it was both. Guys, there's an options section under the notification bell. Select all notification. I'm skipping Thanksgiving. PB&J for me. Sorry, casings, you are correct. What about the lever you pushed? You push the driver's seat back. Absolutely. There's a number of places where his DNA should have been. Ciao, Erekose. Thanks again. Thanks for your time today. Yes, so thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. I will work on my premiere for upload later tonight, so we can get together again and we can have a little chat while we look at some things about the bullet. And we'll see you guys then. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. You're welcome, D. Peterson. Email. Yeah, okay. Can wait for yourself and Sean. Yeah, I'm glad you're happy. I'm stoked about it. I'm totally stoked about it. Doing the Thanksgiving with you. What happened to the license plate? Culvert rang in. I don't know how to answer that. Nothing happened. I mean, I don't know what you're asking me for on what happened to Colburn. Nothing ever happened to Colburn. He called it in. Nothing ever happened. Nobody ever cared, essentially. Let's see. Who's staying to talk? Hi, all right. So, thank you, L. Fallon. So, that's about it. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and we'll see ya.